This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Gun Sports Radio, where your hosts Dave Stahl, Lance Pelkey, and Michael Schwartz educate you on anything and everything related to our Second Amendment right. Visit gunsportsradio.com with your questions and comments, or to learn how to become a sponsor and or guest of the show. Now here comes Hour 2 of Gun Sports Radio, and your hosts Dave, Lance, and Michael.
All right, folks, welcome to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
And if you go to San Bernardino County Gun Owners website, Facebook page, we are Facebook Live. The masked bandit is Lance.
Here he is.
The gentleman in the medical mask that looks like he's going to do surgery on you at any moment is Michael Schwartz. Joe Drammissi and I, we're undercover. We're in,
covert.
We're covert, and which brings up a good point. But before I do that, folks, welcome back. And tell your friends. You can go to any podcast platform. You can listen to any of the old shows we've got, or you can go to Gun Sports Radio, ask us a question. Lance looks at that all the time. This hour is brought to you by our good friends at Cali Key. Drop in a Cali Key into your AR-15 or AR-10 to instantly make it California compliant. For more information, check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's KALIKEY.com. Folks, self-defense in emergencies can happen to anyone. Unfortunately, the justice system may not be on your side. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year, with the comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. What's your plan after you defend yourself or your family? Consider a plan from U.S. Law Shield. Check them out today at uslawshield.com. That's uslawshield.com. The segment is brought to you by a group you should belong to, San Bernardino County Gun Owners. For as little as $10 a month, you'll definitely be on the inside track of what's going on in the gun ownership world. Join now and make a difference. Right now, we got the covert blogger, unmasked, Joe Drammissi.
All right. Well, thank you. It's nice to be on.
That's why you're not on camera. Neither one of us are masked. You and I are off camera.
Apparently, my foot is, though, right? My foot's on.
Yes. Well, you have a mask on your foot, so we're totally happy with that.
So this week, a couple of, when was it? February, I think, came up with the idea of writing a series of articles to help out people that are new to concealed carry, because we were, before all the COVID-19 stuff started, we were doing 8 workshops a month, helping people learn, how to do this, and just a lot of interest, a lot of enthusiasm. We're up over 4,000 now permits in San Diego County.
Oh, nice.
So things are moving along. So what we decided to do was every couple of weeks, I'd write a blog article just to help new people, address some of the things you need to figure out when you're new to concealed carry. So today, I think, or this week was the 4th one in that series. The CCW lifestyle series, what we were calling it. And what I wrote about is, do you carry at home today? Because, again, that's a question that probably comes up eventually for most people. Do you guys carry at home?
I wouldn't say I carry at home, but if I'm carrying, I don't take it off when I'm at home.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I get up in the morning and I'm probably going to, but if I know there's nothing going on that day and I'm just wearing, sweatpants, I'm probably not going to go out of my way to carry, but I don't disarm if I'm carrying and come home.
And do you do the same thing, Lance? Or
I have a safe space for my concealed carry firearm that I keep at home.
Okay.
But I've been considering that shotgun somewhere in another part of the house. I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. Because it's interesting when I got into it, I learned, I got the handgun and I wanted to learn how to do that, and went through all that, and I was thinking about home defense, and I got my new handgun and I dutifully kept that locked up in a safe, unloaded. And
I did the same thing.
And at first I had the safe wasn't even a gun safe, but it was a California compliant safe. So it was in there. And then a little while later, I got a real gun safe, did the same thing, kept it in there, unloaded and locked up in the safe. And embarrassingly, it wasn't until I got my concealed carry, because you start to get more aware of things, I think, if you get into it and you embrace that lifestyle.
True.
And it occurred to me one day that, if something ever happened here and I needed the gun for something, there's no way I'm getting there. The thing might as well be on Mars if it's in the safe. Because what I would do, I would come home, I'd have I'm carrying concealed, so I'd come home, I would take the gun out, I'd unload it, put it in the safe. And so I thought, no, that's probably not a good thing. So fortunately for me, my wife is real supportive with that stuff. So I talked to her about it, and our kids are grown, so we don't have that kind of safety issue or anything around the house. So we decided, okay, what I do now when I come home, I take the gun out of my carry holster, I put it in a smaller little Kydex holster, and I leave it by the bed in the bedroom. And I thought, okay, now it's at least out. And then a little while later, because you evolve through these things, and several months probably later, it occurred to me that, when I'm home, I'm not usually in the bedroom. I'm out in the living room, I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the garage, I'm in the backyard. And the way my house is, there's 3 different ways in: the front door, 2 doors in the back. Any one of those puts whoever comes in through that door between me and where the gun is most of the time, if something happened like that. So eventually I got to now, like pretty much like Michael says, I put my rig on in the morning when I get dressed up. It's just part of getting dressed in the morning. And unless I'm done for the day and I'm going to throw on a pair of sweatpants or something like that, I pretty much carry it around with me. And I've got to the point, when you first start, like I started with a subcompact, the Glock 26, and inside the waistband Kydex holster, and then moved up to a hybrid holster with a Glock 19 that was still inside the waistband. And I eventually got to where I'm at now with an outside the waistband leather holster with the Glock 19 and a good solid gun belt. And it's perfectly comfortable. And so I'm armed pretty much all the time when I'm home. And, again, I'm not saying you have to do that or you shouldn't do that. People should do what's appropriate and comfortable for them. But what I'm saying is you should think about it and figure out, okay, what do you think you should do? And then go forward with that. Don't make it as just, it's a by chance kind of thing. So that was kind of the point there.
Well, and I think you'd have more of a problem in your home than you would out on the streets.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was saying.
Think?
Well, in the article, your house is safe until it isn't. Things happen in homes all day long. Something's happening right now to somebody. Yeah. And home invasions are more frequent than you would think they are, if you take the time to look up that kind of stuff. And the thing with burglaries, and now with this shutdown with people at home, it'll be interesting to see what happens, months from now, to see how that goes. Because in this country, they say about 3/4 of the burglaries that happen are what they call cold burglaries. Burglars in this country go out of their way to try to make sure the place is empty before they go in. In the UK, they say it's the opposite. About 3/4 of them are what they call hot burglaries, where there's somebody home when the burglar comes in.
Really?
Wonder why.
One of the reasons, one of the theories anyway,
guns.
They know they're unarmed there, so they don't care about it as much. Here, it's a little bit more dangerous for them.
Well, one step I have taken regarding carrying, and since I've had a CCW, my bump in the night gun is a shotgun. It's not a pistol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that, I guess, frees those pistols up to just be carry pistols. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about, okay, well, geez, my bump in the night.
Where do you put your shotgun?
It's right by my bed.
So what about in the middle of the day? I mean, in the middle of the evening, you're having dinner, you're watching TV.
So I'm carrying or. Okay, so I don't want to totally go into exactly what I do.
And your address is?
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is I don't have to. All the pistols I have are set up as carry guns. Yeah. I don't have to sacrifice one of them to
protected.
Be a bump of the night. I would say if you're one of those
idiots,
if you're one of those burglars looking for a cold place to rob, I just move along.
Yeah, it's not your house.
Not the Schwartz residence.
And I may shift to something like that. I think once I pick up my shotgun from David.
Yeah, if you can ever get it again.
But I may end up doing something like that. But it's it's good to think about that kind of stuff. And I think part of it is once you become more comfortable with the guns and with the things, I was in the beginning, I was always real it's got to be locked up. It's got to be this, got to be that.
Because you have to follow the laws. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like they have in the city of San Diego, though, if you're following that law, I don't know, to have a gun for protection and then to keep the thing locked up and more or less disabled it's not helping you. It's not, you're not going to be able to get to it in time.
I got another suggestion for you. I seen this in Pacific Beach, and I absolutely fell in love with it. If you go by this guy's house, in his window is a silhouette.
Yep.
And the grouping.
Was that in PB or was that in OB? There was this
one or the other one, but it's right there on the main drag.
Yeah, there was this old guy. I don't know if he was an old guy, but it was a long time ago. It was back in like the 90s when I was going to Dog Beach a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right going into Ocean Beach.
Had this great big silhouette in his window. Yep. Didn't have anything written on it.
Yep.
Just showed a silhouette with a great grouping right in the center mass.
That's hilarious. I totally remember that guy.
See? Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're on Facebook Live. Just go to San Bernardino County Gun Owners, and you can check out the crew right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Go to San Bernardino County Gun Owners Facebook page, and you can check out the show live. By the way, California assault weapon laws make it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key converts any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight full bolt action rifle, so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution. No milling, no aesthetic modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's KALIKEY.com. All right, this segment is sponsored and brought to you by the good folks at U.S. Law Shields. Go to uslawshield.com. Protect you and your family. All right, who you got for a guest there, Michael?
Well, actually, it's Lance. So,
Lance. Okay.
With everyone spending time, indoors nowadays, we've got Judi Wells. She's our firearms facilitator for the San Diego chapter of A Girl and a Gun. So we were talking just about dry fire and what you could do to kind of keep in practice. So, hey, Judi, you on the line?
Hi, I'm there. I am. How are you? You all look like ninjas.
Thank you.
Hi, Judi.
Hi. Hope you're all staying safe.
Yeah, we're all
and
safe.
inside.
We are.
Good. So now we have such a big chapter that it takes more than one of us to run our chapter. So I have two co-instructors. One of them is with us today. Her name is Cathy Smith, and she happens to be our dry fire guru.
Nice.
So I asked her to come on, talk a little bit about dry fire and how you can be safe in your home. But before we start, Cathy has a funny story about it's kind of shooting related, about being an RSO in the grocery store. Cathy, are you with us?
Hi, Judy. Yeah, I'm here.
Hi. How you doing today?
I'm great. Staying healthy, staying busy. Yeah. So
can you tell us about your RSO adventure?
Yeah. So my husband and I decided to go to the grocery store. We wanted to be safe, so we each had our own assigned tasks. And we had masks, and he had his gloves on, and so my job was to watch him and make sure he didn't make any mistakes and touch the wrong thing or touch his mask. So I just had my hands in my pocket, watched him. So I kind of became the RSO. Instead of watching muzzles and fingers, I was watching, masks and gloves, keeping us all safe.
I think that's a great analogy, and leads us into our talk today, which is about safety and how you can keep yourself safe during dry fire. So we have a lot of new shooters out there due to the COVID purchasing frenzy. Can you tell us exactly what dry fire is?
Sure. I mean, we all know that shooting is a perishable skill, and when we can't get to the range for, whatever reason, dry fire lets us practice at home. And we can maintain and even improve our skills. So dry fire is the act of, it's simulating the firing of your gun without actually having any ammunition in the gun.
So we're all missing range time now. We're all trying to keep our skills up, but there's so much to being safe when you're practicing at home. And I know you have a really consistent dry fire practice routine. Can you share with us what you do and how you stay safe during your dry fire practice?
Sure. So, even when we're doing dry fire, we always want to follow the 4 rules of gun safety. We don't want to develop any bad habits while we're away from the range. So treat your gun as if it was always loaded. Don't aim at something you're not willing to destroy. Finger off the trigger until you make the decision to shoot. And number 4 is where we kind of start with dry fire, is know your target and what's beyond. And really, that's where we want to get set up and start our dry fire. Find a safe place with no distractions and a safe direction to use for your target. And it's really, I know it's harder right now because right now a lot of us just have extra people and kids and distractions and stuff in our homes. So that might be a little more challenge, but find a time, maybe after the kids are in bed, where you've got, like, you're free of distractions. You don't need a lot of time, 10 to 15 minutes. If you have 10 to 15 minutes of focused practice, that's really pretty good. You need a place that has a safe muzzle direction. It could be a block wall, a brick fireplace. You can buy a safe direction ballistic pad. I actually use a dirt berm in my backyard. Mine's a little different. I stand inside my house with the door open, and I shoot through the open door towards the dirt berm. And
because you don't want to practice outside, right, where everyone could see you.
Correct.
Practicing, right?
You don't want the neighbors to see what's going on.
No.
I don't need an armed response, coming to my front door. So I stay inside. You can hang a small target, like a Post-it. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. That works great. And after you have your location, you'll need it's really important just to make sure everything is clear. You want to take the ammo out of the room. You want to empty your pockets, make sure there's nothing in your magazines. Be completely clear. Then you can get your gun out, use your safe direction, remove your magazine, empty your chamber. Just make sure that you are completely clear of ammo.
And the gun is empty, and that's really important for our new gun owners, is that all the ammo has to be out of the room where you've chosen to do your dry fire practice.
Right.
So what kind of drills do you suggest? A couple of drills maybe for people who run holsters, maybe a couple of quick drills for people who don't run holsters yet? Yeah, so dry fire can be, it's real flexible. You can really tailor it to what you think you need. So we always begin our drills with saying out loud, my gun is empty and I'm starting dry practice. That gets us focused, it gets us in our mindset, and we're ready to go. On any of the drills, start out slow. You're trying to perfect your gun manipulations and get it perfect, get it right. As you improve, and you can speed it up and even add a timer, put a par time on it and add a little stress. You can start by practicing just all the basic things, proper stance, grip, trigger control, sight picture, sight alignment. It's just the perfect time to focus on all the mechanics of shooting without the distraction of the gun going bang or whether you've, hit that perfect bullseye. There's a lot of skills you can improve on. You can work on reloads. You can work on clearing malfunctions, or just a smooth trigger press. A real simple. With snap caps, not when you work with malfunctions. Make sure that you can work with snap caps, but you can do them all just with your gun and your imagination. You can talk yourself through them and go through all the motions without having the snap caps. If you don't have them, if you've got them, great. But you don't. Right. That's a good way to practice. Yeah. So where can we find some of these drills that we can maybe, like our new shooters who might not have access to information yet, or Girl with a Gun members, where are places that we can look for, what are some resources? Well,
if you are a Girl in a Gun member, you've got lots of resources. We have an online shooting journal, and each month in that shooting journal, there are dry fires, drills, and skills for shooters of different levels. Now also we're going to post on our Girl in a Gun website some of our drills and documents that give safety and the drills and a lot of different ideas. So you can find that on our Girl in a Gun website. On our Girl in a Gun Facebook, and that will be available for anyone. Also, there's a lot of good information online. Google one of your favorite trainers and dry fire, and a lot of them have blog pieces or segments on dry fire.
So that's two really good resources there for people that are members of A Girl in a Gun. You can go to our Facebook page, which is A Girl in a Gun San Diego, and you'll be able to find some documents that we're going to upload today that will reference all this information that Cathy has spoken about. And if you want more information about A Girl in a Gun, you can email us at agirlandagunsd, like San Diego, at gmail.com. So thank you so much, Cathy, for all of that information. Come join us at one of our meetings and hear Cathy live and join us in one of our dry fire lectures. There's so much skill that can be had just by practicing dry at home. All the pros do it, and it can improve your skills as well. So anybody out there, all the new people and women that are listening, it's really important that you come and get training, and A Girl in a Gun is a great place to do that. So, Lance, any questions for Cathy?
I think Cathy, you both did a great job, and awesome. I really like that the tip about shooting dry firing indoors to outdoors to the berm, and that way CPS won't show up and get the kids.
Right.
So that's always good.
We're all home right now because of the quarantine.
Absolutely. Right? So, Mommy, why you dry firing into the backyard? It's like, hey.
Right.
Yeah, It's awesome.
Well, it's all about making it easier too.
Yeah.
If it's like big hassle to dry fire and practice, you'll never do it. You'll never do it. But if you, it's probably better.
You want to make it a real simple thing. You can set it up, do it, be done. 20 minutes, 30 minutes max, and you're done.
It's probably better to do 15 minutes 3 times a week than 2 hours once a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and get in the habit of it, like brushing your teeth.
And if you're really focused at what you're doing, 15 minutes is a lot of
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and you got to make sure that gun's empty, though. Even with snap caps, you just got to make sure have got to practice that it's empty. Anyway, great job, ladies. As always,
awesome
look forward to having you back on again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you. Good to see you on Facebook, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, we look forward to it. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. This is Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, let me get to page 27 here.
We'll be rocking out while you find that page.
Well, hey, glued them together. A.O. Sword Firearms Gun Store. You ever been? Well, I'll tell you what, if you haven't, you need to get over there. They got the widest selection of guns in San Diego County with over 600 unique guns in stock, including hundreds of used guns. Go see their full-service experienced gunsmith. They can do everything from mild repair to full custom firearms. A.O. Sword Firearms Store located at 929 East Main Street in the city of El Cajon. Go to their website at aosword.com or give them a call at 619-749-4867. Build, buy, or repair. A.O. Sword Firearms is your go-to place for all things firearms. That's aosword.com. Again, call them at 619-749-4867. All right, we got to wait a minute until he finishes washing his hands because we got David Chong on the line. Are you all clean now?
He's washing his hands.
Yeah, even over the phone, I want to make sure I'm all sanitary.
Good.
Thank you.
You've been seeing a lot of people.
We have been. And you know what? I want to brag on those people for a minute. What an incredible shooting community we have in San Diego. I made the, not a difficult decision, but unusual. My crew has been working double overtime for 3 weeks now, and we're doing everything we can to stay open, stay supplied, get guns and ammunition into the hands of people who are looking to exercise their Second Amendment rights. And my folks were tired, and so I decided to close for one day, Monday, to give them a 2-day weekend, because they really need to rest and recover. And instead of complaints and what about my gun pickup, again, over 100 responses from the community saying, you guys are working hard. Thank you so much. Nice. You deserve it. Yeah. Rest up. But that's, those are consumers, some of whom they're going to have to wait an extra day to pick up their gun. But, they really understand what, not just our shop, but our fellowship of shops in this county, what we're doing and the lengths that we're going to make sure that we can serve them. And I really appreciate being part of that kind of community that supports each other. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Without a doubt.
Best people in the world are in the gun community. Now, we have our fair share of big whiny babies, but most of the people, I will say this, some of the best people I've met in my life were gun community people.
Absolutely. It's not just drinking from a fire hose. I've heard that saying before. It is a tidal wave, and we are just trying to keep things afloat. It's rough. We do post updates every day on shipments we received. Our shipments are all screwed up. Sometimes our suppliers, usually it's a well-oiled machine. I order it, it's in the mail. I get it. I get handguns overnight. I see them the next day or the second day air. On all other stuff, it's depending on where it's shipping from, and I can track it in 3 to 5 days. Now, tracking doesn't mean anything. Stuff will show up and it doesn't have a tracking number, or a tracking number will say, "Hey, you got 40,000 rounds of ammo due tomorrow." Tomorrow comes and it says, it's coming on Thursday. The 2 more days. It's very strange. So I'm flying in the dark. I have no idea what's coming or what I've got. Some things are showing up without invoices. We're just doing the best we can.
That's interesting. I had a couple of people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm looking to buy this," or "Hey, I'm looking to buy that," or "Hey, who's got ammo?" And at this point, you got to go do your own footwork. I mean, things are changing so quickly with with the retailers across the county. You guys get a shipment in, you'll get a bunch of guns, and then by the end of the day, you might not have a bunch of guns anymore. You guys get a shipment in, get a bunch of ammo, and then might not have it.
Right, and it disappears. Well, we are just like I think you had Gun Range San Diego on at the bottom of the last hour. All of us are doing the same things. The first thing we do is, we might get 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 rounds of the popular calibers 9, 5.56, 223, and we'll set that aside to make sure that someone buying a gun can buy a few boxes for that gun. And then if we have extras in addition to that, then we'll make those available on a kind of a rationed basis. Hey, two boxes per household or 5 boxes per household, depending on how many we have. And that's usually gone by the end of the day. So really these daily updates, and we do it on Facebook. That's the main platform we use. That helps. It's the best we can do it letting people know what we happen to have in stock.
I feel like gun owners, and I don't know, maybe this isn't your experience, but it seems like, David, that gun owners, people that already own a gun and, or at least, maybe more than one gun, are kind of stepping out of the way. They kind of know, hey, you know what? Don't go down there and muddle things up right now. Let all the folks who are in need. This isn't the time to buy your 7th CZ. Right. This is the time to go, you know what, let's just step aside, let all the new folks get done with it.
Well,
have you experienced that as well? Is that something you've noticed?
Absolutely. I'm meeting 99% of the people we're serving, and we're still dishing out hundreds of guns a week.
Wow.
They are brand new to us, referred by friends, found us on the internet, saw us on Facebook. Yeah, brand new shooters, which is, again, awesome. And we're trying to give them as much as we can, our same high touch interaction. We don't just, hey, this is the gun we have, take it or leave it or get out. What are you looking for? Why? What's your experience? Okay. And it's going great. The one regret I have is that in this time, I do not have, frankly, the time of day to bring them back into the shop or even one of our partner shops or anybody else in the region for some safety training and some mindset training and of course some accuracy training. We are going to be doing that as we can hold classes because of quarantine orders. But when we can get classes back up and running, that is there's going to be 3 focuses of classes that we're going to offer and really try to get them in at bargain prices too, so that they have no excuse for not taking these classes. One would be maintenance and upkeep of the gun itself. Another one is going to be basic firearm safety and the firearm safety mindset, which is foreign to people, even who grew up with guns. You see it all the time, an accidental sweep of a muzzle because, well, I knew it was unloaded. You always got to treat it like it's loaded. And then lastly, taking people to the range and getting them comfortable with actually shooting these things and hitting what they're aiming at.
Yeah, that's good. And then you take people out once in a while yourself, don't you? Do you have any classes you do?
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, I'm one of the few CCW certified instructors, so I do those qualification courses. Those are 8-hour courses. But then I also offer firearms essentials course, pistol basics, and then all rifle basics, and then all the way up through what we call our gunfighter courses, which are practical, tactical, effective techniques and 360-degree battle space in the urban civilian environment, learning how to be very effective with your firearm.
That's
in a legal way.
When the first gun I purchased, first firearm I purchased, I was 21 and I bought a Glock 19 and then quickly bought a Mossberg 500 and then an AR. So like within maybe 2-3 months, I had, those, all 3, boom, I'm 21 years old. Didn't really have any formal training, but fell back on the 4 rules. It's so crucial to teach people the 4 universal rules that my old man taught me when I was 10, and he gave me my first, Red Ryder BB gun. Obviously, gun owners need a lot more training than that. I mean, go get more training, continue to evolve, continue to learn. But just those 4 rules, if you just follow those 4 rules, if people just walk away knowing those 4 universal rules, amazingly effective at keeping people safe. I don't know. That's what do you think about that statement, Dave?
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I started off with a Red Ryder BB gun as well. Lucky enough to go in the military, and nobody trains you about safety and firearms in the military, and spent 3 years in that arena. But no, you could never get enough training. Never. The dry fire, I had never even thought of that until Girls with a Gun came on and talked about it.
I mean, get the training. The training I've gotten since has been, it's
invaluable.
First off, it's fun. It's been amazingly fun knowing and getting to know things better. But just those 4 rules are so crucial.
Right.
What's wonderful about the 4 rules is you have to break multiple rules at the same time in order for something to truly go wrong.
Yep.
You might, you break one rule and maybe there's a bullet hole in a piece of furniture, or maybe the gun went off in the air and you didn't mean it to. But if you're following all of the other rules at the same time, then nobody should get hurt.
Yeah. Yep.
What I tend to see on the range is even experienced people, they are spot on their gun safety until something unexpected happens. So when the gun goes click instead of bang, now they're going, hey, what happened? And they pull the gun in to look at it to see what went wrong, and gun safety's out the window, and now they're muzzling the rest of the line. Of course, I don't allow that because I stand close to people that I suspect might be having issues, and I get in there like the ninja that you guys look like right now with your masks on.
Yeah, that's us.
Get them pointed down range. But yeah, that's and we all have to be humble enough to realize that can happen to us. So when that's a little take home for the segment, when something unexpected happens with your gun, the control doesn't quite work right, you can't find the safety or you can't seem to get the slide release to work, that is the time to slow down, think about your fundamental safety rules, and then proceed with a mind towards safety, not a mind towards troubleshooting.
Yeah, that's really well put. That's extremely well put. And repetition is where you pick this stuff up, I think.
Yeah.
The more you,
absolutely.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more. At Front Sight when we were out there what's it been, like a month now? I don't even know what the date.
Yeah.
What's the date? It's like March
6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
97th, I think, or something like that. It's April 42nd, I think. Anyway, Laura was she got a Type 2 malfunction in the middle of a drill, and paused for a second, and I said, "Fix it." And boom, she went right into clearing a malfunction. And, it's that kind of that's what you want to see. That kind of repetition, because that's what you fall back on. They call it muscle memory, but that kind of repetition of like, oh yeah, do this thing. Don't look down the barrel. Don't point it at your buddy. Don't say, "Gee, what's going on?"
But in the racing community,
that's the value of
in the racing community, it's called seat time. The more you get behind the wheel of a race car, the better you're going to get.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of laps. And the gun is no different. Practice
Absolutely.
makes you perfect.
Absolutely. You look at practice and humility. You look at some of the most respected shooters. Let's just talk about our community. Some of the other folks who are CCW certified instructors. Excellent pistol marksmen. Very fast on the draw. We still pay other people every year hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to train us, because we know that we need to constantly be in that training cycle, not only better ourselves as shooters, but also better our craft as instructors. So if we are seeking training as professional shooters, there's no excuse for anybody else to say, "Oh, I'm squared away. I know everything I need to know."
Jordan had a coach.
Training.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Dave. Hey,
Michael Jordan had a coach. That's right.
That's right.
All right, buddy. Hey, thank you very, very much for taking time out of your day, and we truly appreciate it. And we look forward to talking to you next week, and be safe.
Absolutely. You too. Take care, guys.
All right.
Thanks,
hey,
Dave.
folks, this is Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right. California assault weapon law has made it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key. It'll convert any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight pull-bolt action rifle, so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution. No milling, no aesthetic modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at CaliKey.com. That's KALIKEY.com. Hey, folks, self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and unfortunately, the justice system may not be on your side. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year with the comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Remember, bad guys don't take days off, and neither does U.S. Law Shield. What's your plan after you defend yourself or your family? Consider a plan from U.S. Law Shield. Check them out today at uslawshield.com. That's uslawshield.com. Again, uslawshield.com. Hey, prime mortgage rates are just tanking, which is great. So you need to go, if you're looking to do a refi, maybe you're going to do a reverse mortgage, whatever it is you need to do, you need to call our guy. That's Chris Wiley, PRMI Mortgage, for nearly 25 years. Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Give Chris a call at 619-722-1303 or primeres.com/Alpine. All right, we got Sam the Gunman.
Gotta imagine before we get to Sam. Love Sam. Hang on a sec, though. I would imagine that we just spent what, $2 trillion, which means they're going to have to issue bonds.
Yeah.
Right. Which means if there's a big, huge supply of bonds, then interest rates are going to drop for your home. I would imagine.
Where are they getting this $1 trillion?
They just print it.
No, they're going to issue bonds.
I heard they're borrowing it.
Well,
that's issuing bonds.
That's issuing bonds.
That's what he's talking about.
That's what I mean. So if there's a huge supply of that out there, I would imagine you were about to see a huge opportunity to refi. But this is not a refi show. This is a gun show. So,
I didn't bring it up. I'm just doing a commercial.
No, that's me.
The minute you put a mask on, look what happens.
All of a sudden, I'm going to... I'm not a mortgage expert, but I did spend the night at Holiday Inn Express.
But you are a gangster.
But Chris Wiley is, so call him.
Call Chris Wiley.
And he will answer you quickly.
He is.
I called him.
He's our guy.
Speaking of experts, Sam the Gunman, are you there?
I am. How are you?
Good, man. How are you thinking about refining your mortgage?
I'll take a rain check on that.
Good answer.
Maybe those cookies.
Sam is my nephew, and he is the ripe old age of 20. Are you 21? 20.
He's
ripe
still
old age
working
of
on
20. And we found out that he is a bit of a gun trivia savant. He knows a whole
kinda.
He knows a whole bunch of gun trivia. So we put together a segment called Stump My Nephew. If you write us and a gun trivia question and we use it, we'll give you a T-shirt. If you stump him, you get the T-shirt and a hat. So far, he's So far, 20-year-old Sam has hardly been stumped. Do you have any idea what your record is?
No, I don't keep track anymore.
It's
listen to this.
All right, so here's the question, and it's I tried to pick one that was relevant. So here's the question. You ready?
Go for it.
The Spanish flu was right around the time of World War I. What was the main rifle used by the U.S. in World War I? And that was sent to us by Joanne from San Marcos.
It's an interesting question that has kind of two answers. As all other armies did, the United States had a variety of weapons that they fielded during the First World War, but our primary infantry rifle was the M1903 Springfield in 30-06. But the U.S. military also used the M1917 Enfield rifle, which was based on a slightly different action. And the story behind that is we had started producing them for the British, and the factories that were already making them just switched over to 30-06 when the United States entered the war.
That is absolutely correct.
Hey. Ta-da!
Brendan's got a couple new drops. That's awesome. Yeah. So that's amazing. Now, if you think back to this is early part of the 20th century, in the 1900s, America was manufacturing arms for the British, which right now in 2020 doesn't really sound like an amazing thing. What's the big deal? But back then, our entire military strategy was preparing for a British invasion. We really weren't that far away from the Brits being our biggest enemy at the time. So for us to manufacture arms for them is actually fairly amazing.
What do you think, son?
Wouldn't you say?
I mean, the U.S. had already had a pretty robust arms industry, so really what it came down to was the foreign policy of which side in the burgeoning conflict to gouge.
So the two were the Springfield 1903 and the Enfield. Tell us a little bit more about the differences between those two. Well,
the Springfield kind of has an interesting story itself. After the more or less debacle that was the M1892 rifle in 30-40 Krag, the U.S. military wanted to really modernize and get something that had more range and more firepower and was easier to manufacture mostly.
No, wait. Why was it a debacle? Talk about that. Why was it a debacle?
The Krag Jorgensen is a very good rifle for shooting, but it's not quite durable enough or easy enough to produce to be suitable for military service. And also the ammunition it fired was not loaded with Spitzer bullets, so it did not really have enough range to compete.
How many books have you read on guns?
20.
Not enough.
There's got to be at least 100 books you've read. My goodness.
So getting back to the Springfield,
he's got more info.
The U.S. military, really Springfield Armory, which was a government institution, what they decided to do was basically copy the best existing combat rifle in the world, which was the Mauser. The late model Mausers, like the 1898 pattern. And it was so close, actually, that, of course, the story is a little more complicated than this, but after the war, the U.S. government actually had to pay royalties to Germany and to the Mauser Corporation for stealing their design.
That's amazing. So, and it used, though, the 1903 used what caliber?
30-06.
And that's probably that's just about the most American caliber.
Yeah, it started off in 30-03, but they changed the bullet and redesignated the cartridge.
And we used the 30-06. Next would have been the Garand, right?
Yep.
We used 30-06.
The M1 was actually originally designed in 276 Pedersen, but MacArthur himself stepped in and ordered it to be changed to 30 caliber for compatibility with the 1919.
Wow. Okay. And then that turned into, the 308, the NATO 308 is actually the same projectile. It's just a shorter casing so that they could make an automatic version of it, right? Is that kind of the story there?
The story behind 7.62 NATO is very long and complicated and rife with controversy, but basically the short version is the Americans were absolutely insistent on a cartridge that was 30 caliber and just as powerful as the .06. And so what they did was basically change the propellant to give it a little more bang for its buck, and that allowed them to shorten the case by almost exactly half an inch.
Well, that's awesome. You answered so many more questions than you were required to. Fantastic job. Anybody that wants to meet Sam, come to our Second Amendment celebration dinner, which will be on August 15th. Yes, we've changed the date to August 15th. And you'll be able to meet Sam on his birthday, August 15th.
Will it be? Is he a Leo?
Is that where you are?
What?
If you're August 15th, right?
I have no idea.
Your birthday.
Caltech.
Listen to him. Well, I'm August the 10th. I knew I liked you for a reason.
So that'll be his first legal drink. Is that our Second Amendment celebration dinner?
Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said the first time is always the best time. Thanks, buddy. You take care. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, you guys have a good night. Stay safe out there.
You got it. All right, folks, we want to thank Firearms Legal Protection, San Diego County Gun Owners, U.S. Law Shield, Cali Key, PRMI Mortgage, Gatsky Dillon and Balance, LLP, The Gun Range San Diego, A.O. Sword, and Michael Schwartz, Joe Drammissi, and my very good friend, Mr. Lance Pelkey, and Brendan Thomas, the wild and woolly, the big guy board op.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.